Yeah, in case this looks familiar to you, I was down here a year or two ago when the water got real high, only that was due to a major storm coming in away from the coast, like from the mountains. This is coming in from the coast, this rain here, and I forget the name of the hurricane, but we got a hurricane coming in sometime tonight. And I'm hoping I'll be able to come back down here tomorrow morning to get photos of this when the water's real high, because I already know it's going to get much higher than this. And clearly this business owner over here knows too, because if you look, they have learned from the last time we had some flooding. They're making dang sure water doesn't get in this time. So props to them. Major props to them. I'm going to try and get photos, but the water's proving a bit of an issue. So I'm sorry if you guys see me wiping my lens off. There we go. Gonna see if I can cross real quick. There we go. Oh yeah, it's starting to rise, but very slowly. Yep, you can see the water starting to rise here. You got drainage stuff coming in from Athens here, flowing into this creek here, as evident by where the sediment is getting disturbed in the main creek flow. So I would suspect this to be getting really, really high sometime tonight. And it'll probably be up either underneath the bridge or, let me rephrase that. I'm going to guess the water will be about as high as it was last time, if not maybe higher than last time, due to this rain coming from a hurricane. But we'll just have to see, I guess. And it'll really all depend on if I'm able to get out tomorrow morning. That or the afternoon, whichever comes first. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe my lens off again. Sorry, I'm zooming in to try and get the color I want. Forget it. See, I wanted to give an update on this. Rain's picking up. I gotta go. Preserver 2000 back again, doing another video here. Good morning, y'all. It's probably the earliest video I have done in quite a while, morning time wise. Yeah, we are currently in the eye of whatever hurricane is currently coming through Georgia right now. I forget the name of it. Something Helene, Helena, something with the H, but yeah, let me go into wide angle here. Oh yeah. This is just from rainwater. I want to stress that. My game plan today, since we can't exactly go to Gray, Georgia, Gordon, and all that, is to go around Athens to check what the hurricane has done. Because all we've been getting is rain. So all we've got right now, as you can see, is a lot of water. The reason this water is this color is because of the mud, sediment, and stuff. Let me see if I can get around this, because all this water is draining out from here into this canal. There we go. Well, we held up better than we did during the last storm, because we haven't had any trees come down yet. And we only had power flash tonight, last night, and early this morning. I was up at like 4 something this morning due to the wind and whatnot. And yeah, that was all that woke me up. Alright, so this is draining out good. So this is finally getting a chance to work. You can see all the water draining out of the drainage thing here. Down into this creek bed that flows under the property. That's where I'm going next. Yeah, you can probably hear the wind slowly picking up now. Because since we're in the eye, that means it ain't gonna really be calm for too terribly long. And since it sounds like the roads are still open, I'm gonna get a shower, wake myself up, and see if I can go down to where some of the roads I normally go on to get to Linear Tech in the mornings. I'm going to check the creek I checked earlier yesterday afternoon, because the water had started to rise up there, and I wanted to try and check that out and see what it looks like. Oh, hello. What do we have here? I'm going to get rid of you. Hello. Get off our walking path, please. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still in my evening dress at the moment, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'd say we got some leaves down. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say we got some leaves down. Leaves and limbs. And here is a good time for me to do a post 10. There we go. Since that drain is so small, it gets clogged easily from all this. Now let's see what our drainage creek looks like. Oh yeah. It's running. Oh yeah, it's running all right. In fact, it was running probably so high last night that it moved a limb that's been here for quite some time. See that dead one? That's what was normally somewhere back in here. That water picked up that limb and moved it. That's interesting. And this is all water draining down from the housing complex above us, further up on the hill. This creek bed only gets water when it's raining like this. Yeah, but it looks like we haven't had any trees down yet, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and get back to my grandmother's, eat something, get a shower so I'm more awake, and then I think I'm going to try and go down to the mill area and see what I can get there before it gets too bad. Because again, main thing I'm interested in is the, what do you call it? Oh yeah, I'm more interested in seeing the creek out there, Trail Creek. I want to see if it's over its banks. Because the owners of that building beside it put some sandbags up. So yeah, I will potentially check back with y'all in another recording in a few minutes or so. Well, I was going to check the mill, but this now confirms we were in the eye of the storm, because now the wind's picked up again. Gonna be wiping off the lens, so just don't be too surprised. So Hurricane, what's its name, or whatever it's called, Helene, something like that. It's now decided to rear its ugly face again. Well, this should be interesting. This should be very interesting. Apologies for rain on the camera lens, but here's the creek at its current state compared to yesterday. As you can see, it's much higher than it was, and it's probably going to still keep rising for the next few hours. Since I'm only out here at 7 something this morning, I already know it's going to get higher than this. In fact, you can still see sediment there from when it overtopped its banks last time. So my game plan is I'm going to walk from here to the Trail Creek trestle to see what it looks like down there. Because since the banks down there are lower, it's probably already bursting over, but who knows. There's the old ammunition mill that was used, I think, during the Civil War. Don't wipe the lens off, so sorry if the camera footage is shaky and ruined and whatnot. I'm trying to cut down on water ingress. Yeah, you can see where the creek is flowing here and where it's against the bank here. So the camera's going to be angled slightly down to try and cut down on the water hitting the lens. Huh. I guess we're still... Are we still in the eye? I can't tell. And then all this is from the rain right here. All this water. And it's flowing into the creek right in there. So, yeah. This parking lot's probably going to be underwater again in a few more hours. All this probably will. I just have to keep that in check. And that muddy torrent is Trail Creek. And those guys are lucky. They haven't had to deal with water yet. Their neighbors, however, as you can see, are dealing with it. Or starting to. And I drive through these back streets every morning and every afternoon when I come back from near Tech. Ah, nuts. Don't mind me, I'm just doing another post 10 moment. Yeah, I just cleared all this out so this could drain better, or drain a bit faster. That's evident by all that. But yeah, here's the parking lot from the last major storm we had. And the rain's really going to pick up due to these trees because they got larger droplets. But if I step out, well, you can see for yourself. So now the eye wall is passing through. So, yeah, the wind is going to get a bit more intolerable as the hours ticks by. I'm over here to show the flooding as it currently stands. Wiping off the lens again. And this is all I want to stress, rainwater, and there's the trees going crazy. From the wind, because I think they said wind gusts were going to be about in the 20 or 30 mile an hour range for this morning. I think that's as high as it was going to go, was like I think 26 to 30 something miles an hour winds, but who knows? I'm not the weatherman. A friend of mine from New England might, but not me. And the wind is going to kick up this rain, but it's going to be a bit difficult to show everything clearly without raindrops on the lens, so I apologize for that. Oh yeah. The creek is going to overtop down here first, because you can see the water level is not that far away from overtopping right here. And all this is just nothing but, I think, plant debris and stuff. It's not really any real sediment, so it's going to overtop right here. And it's probably actually going to overtop right here to start with, and then all the water draining out is going to start flowing back into here and flooding this lowland right here. In fact, you can see how deep it is already, just from where I'm standing. That there's probably like a foot or two deep right there in the lowest spot. That sounded like something falling. Forgive me, I'm keeping my wits about me because I'm worried about these trees. You see how they're swaying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna move. Because a lot of these could fall across the creek to where I'm at, or some of them could hit these power lines. Like if that fell, it could hit these. If that fell, it could hit these. So I'm gonna get out of here so they don't, so I'm not in the path. Oh yeah, I can see them swaying. Oh yeah, I think I made the right call parking my truck where I did. It's parked facing the mill and the parking spot near the road. As you can see over there. So who knows? I'd laugh if I could catch the creek overtopping and flooding down here. That'd be interesting, but I don't know if I have that kind of time. Camera battery is dying. I'm going to switch to my phone if I can. River Preserver 2000 in Trail Creek, out. Resuming where I was. I'm now back on my phone, so the power shot has been put back into my truck right now because the battery's dying. I just got a text from my grandmother saying the power at Stratford literally just went out a few minutes just now, so looks like it held out for the night. So now comes the boring stuff for the rest of the day. I should have brought my camera bag. I didn't think about that until just now because I got all my batteries and stuff in there. Oh well. Fun part now is going to be getting back, because if the power's out at Stratford, that means the lights for the road and stuff are going to be out too. Traffic lights and stuff like that, so that'll be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, my game plan, as I pointed out in my prior recording on my camera, is to walk from the mill, which is there, up to where the Trail Creek Trestle is. This time though I have a coat, so I'm not going to get as wet. And I keep forgetting the name of this hurricane. I just know it goes by something H. Helena. I really don't know, to tell you the truth. But I'm hoping to stay out here long enough to watch the water gradually rise up, because with the amount of rain we've got, I already know it's going to... I got no doubt it's going to rise and flood all this again. It's just a matter of when. That bugs me, that soil. I love they got like a no parking sign. I love they got a no parking sign, but people park here daily because they live out here. Well, this was a trail. That's probably going to come down, that dead tree. Sure of that. Okay. You can see where there used to be houses there, and there with the staircases. Yeah, I'm filming this as it is because the wind and the rain pick up again. It's really going to start, you know, going nuts. I don't blame the guy for taking the wind chimes down. This ain't the right weather for it. Phone is currently at 94% battery life. So what I might do, once I'm done doing what I need to do at the trestle, I'll go I'm going to go and head back to Stratford and get my camera bag so I can swap batteries out of the S60 and then come back out here in this surrounding area and film it, photograph it. I'm going to just cut through here because I know this goes to the trestle. And I can always cut back over to the road if I can't want to. A good example for you, Eli, if you're watching this. This is an example of how I film in real time, out in the field, as you might say. Wiping the lens off because of the rain. How big of a tree was this? I've wondered if this plaque here was about this tree, and I wanted to see if that was the case. Oh no, it's about the birds. Fair enough. That was a big ass tree at one time, pardon my French, but yeah. Oh well. These are some of the back streets of Athens, by the way. And there is the new quote-unquote Trail Creek trestle. You can see we got a lot of wind here today. Bunch of leaves and limbs down, but no trees yet. Of course, that doesn't mean one finally gave out in Stratford. And here's the drainage line for all this, or for this creek over here, actually, that's where that is. You can see it's steadily rising. Oh yeah, it's now rising to the level of Trail Creek out there. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, there's Trail Creek and its muddy torrent. And there's a wildflower field that I've wanted to photograph for a while. And some sort of, I really don't know what those berries are. Oh well. Don't mean to trudge through this, but I really don't have any other alternative route to get through at the moment, so I'm going to trudge through. There we go. I guess this would probably fall into the category of on-site journalism or something to that effect. I really don't know. Another drainage area for Trail Creek. Oh yeah, right there, look. That was all standing yesterday. It probably fell sometime during the night. That tree there. I didn't think about that. Huh. And that right there might be remains of the original Trail Creek trestle right there. Possibly, I don't know. What I think I'm going to do is, well, I was going to cross over. I got to wait for this truck to go by. Ah, forget it. Now I'm walking amongst the ruins of the original trestle that I photographed for over 7-8 plus years. This would have all been timber truss work here. up to about here. Of course, all this was already gone because it had been partially demoed being demolished. But, yeah, the original bridge was quote-unquote saved in 2000 or 2001 by the city of Athens because REM used it in one of their music albums cover art for the back cover of their, I think, first album, Murmur. And that's what gave this trestle notoriety. It was an angle similar to this, albeit on the other side of the bridge and the other side of the river. It was on that bank there looking towards us. I tried replicating the photo, but since the creek has risen and fallen and whatnot so much, it's more or less a moot point in trying to recreate the exact shot, because you can't recreate the exact shot, not without standing in the creek. And there is a piece of wood I recovered from the original bridge. I put it under here so it wouldn't rot as bad. So far it seems to have held up, but who knows. I'm sure if you looked around here closely enough, you'd find other stuff. More of that wind. So I'm going to walk this way and get back over to the walking path if I can. Actually, I know where to go. I know exactly where to go. EMTs have been called out. From what I can hear the horns going off. Oh yeah, it's the middle of Athens. The middle of Athens has got fire crews out there right now. From what I can hear. Here's some pillars and pylons for the original bridge that they moved to build the new ones. Along with the stumps and footings of the original bridge right here. I just realized that. That's what these are. These are the original timber supports right here. Interesting. And here's the new bridge, quote unquote. Excuse me. And here's what the original bridge looked like as I remember it. Partially demolished. And then it was finally fully demolished 10 years later. So much for preservation, right? Yeah, so now the wind and all is really picking up. So I think whatever eye wall we were in is starting to pass. So, oh boy. Here's some of the damage, quote unquote. Just a bunch of blown down leaves and limbs and stuff. Yeah, I'm going down here to check Trail Creek and see what its watermark is. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me one bit though if the lower lying areas of this are already going underwater, because the banks of the creek down here are much lower than back at the mill. It's a floodplain, so it's going to be a lot crazier, I'm sure. Seems what I did to drain this out before worked. It just worked a bit too well initially. Ah, yeah, and here's the torrent that is Trail Creek at the moment. So here's Trail Creek as it currently stands right now. All this water is flowing out into the Oconee River. That way. Here's what it looks like around the bridge. Now the REM angle, the photo everyone talks about, would have been something similar to this angle, but further down in the creek, somewhere down there. Of course, whatever bank was there in the 1980s is gone due to the creek doing all of this, but I digress. And there's a look at that tree that came down right there. Now, while they were in the middle of getting ready to tear the original bridge down, I actually, I ain't gonna say explicitly how I did it, but I will just say that I got a few good photos of the bridge from about this angle back in 2021, a few months before they fully demoed the original thing. So I'm glad I got them when I did. And I think this trail here loops back around the mill, so that's one reason I'm going up here. Oh, and then here's the construction entrance for down there at the creek. And you can see it visibly now in terms of it flooding out. I can already tell you all this here is going to probably be underwater in the next 2 or 3 hours or so. And I say probably because I'm not very sure of that. Okay, so that's good. That tells me this should go out probably, I don't know. Yeah, that bridge used to be part of the old Georgia Railroad that came into Athens. The trackage from Winterville all the way to Union Point for the branch was abandoned back in the 1980s. What was left here in Athens carried on until about 1997 or 1998 when it was finally shut down, and then after that they then moved all of the remaining stock out, rolling stock, and then cut the tracks out in about 2000. And they only managed to demolish 2 of the 3 bridges here in Athens. One of the 2 bridges was the Trail Creek Trestle. And I say 2, or it's actually one of the 3, so pardon my crude math there. Well, that must have fallen. Did that just fall? I'm now going to have to look back. Well, no, that couldn't have just fallen. Nah, that must have fallen last night. Okay. See, I know where we're at now. This is the parking that goes back up to the mill, because you can see this bend in my earlier video footage of Trail Creek, because it was elsewhere. In fact, as stated, if you look back at my channel, you can see how high it got a year or 2 ago, because there's all the sediment that was deposited the last time it flooded its banks. So yeah, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Stratford and get my camera gear and then just come out here and camp out pretty much. Unless I find something else of interest, I guess. Actually, let me go and check down here because the Oconee River is down here too. Trail Creek just takes its time getting there. Battery life's now at 80%, so another reason I need to go back is I need to get my phone charger. Oh, that guy might be coming down here. Yeah, he is. Or not. He's going into downtown Athens, I think. Okay. $8:43, so we're either in the eye or it's blown past us. I really don't know yet. And then here's the mill. And then here's the Oconee River Park coming up. Really good view of the mill, actually. It's now apartments and stuff, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on it. And right over here used to be an old mill. An old grist mill, as evident by the water wheel and mill ruins here, or replica mill ruins, I should say. And the other railroad trestle for the Georgia Road used to be here, is somewhere around here too, down in there. So I'll try to get to that if I have time. That's going to need to be cleared pretty soon. Yeah. And here's one of the millstones. Old flagstones, probably salvaged from the street at one point. And there's the Oconee River right there. And there's the original trestle. Oh yeah, so yeah, So this was the armory, and that still stands here, albeit with some modifications, of course. Because I think that rotunda is no longer here. I think they either flattened that out or got rid of it. I really don't know. I need to clean that one. Yeah, so the mill was last used in 1979, so that's when it finally shut down. So 145 years, that ain't bad in terms of an operational run. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're going to probably see more storm damage. Yeah, just this trail alone has a lot of history regarding Athens and the river. Because both of them were, well actually yeah, the river, the railroad, and all of that, it was all pretty much all interconnected. So yeah, Eli, if you ever come to Athens on a good day, when it's not looking like the end of the world, yeah, feel free to stop by this place, and I recommend coming during the daytime because it's not exactly safe, but other than that, I digress. And here's the Chocolate Milk River, aka the Oconee River, given that it's now currently a sediment-stirred mess. And there, up ahead, is the other railroad trestle that was torn down. The Trail Creek trestle, the one I keep bringing up, that was the only original bridge on the route that was kept semi-intact for the next 20-odd years, or 10 to 20-odd years, I should say. Because, yeah, 2000 to 2021, that's, yeah, about 10, 20 years. So much for preservation. Am I right? Yeah, you can see where the water's falling in the river. That's from rain droplets on the tree leaves. And then here's what's left of the old Oconee River Bridge for the old Georgia Railroad coming into Athens. This was finally abandoned in about 2000 when they tore it down. Yeah, there's more interesting stuff about the railroad and stuff here, but on these placards, especially down here by the bridge. Now, I've walked all around this in the wintertime along the old embankment, and there are remains of the original timber supports, though there aren't many. And there's the original bridge there. I just find it interesting that the that's weird though. Oh shoot, hello. That's a problem. That might be the Trail Creek trestle right there, or an earlier rendition of it. I really don't know. And this is the North Oconee River Bridge, I think, or North Avenue Bridge. I don't know, but that must be what this is here. They wouldn't have a plaque for it if it wasn't. And you can see how they added on to it over the years. The stone is the first iteration of the bridge. The early concrete was a later addition, and then the newest addition is up top for the trestle, carrying the trail. Then here's more stuff about the railroads in Athens. The Georgia Railroad. And see, that's what I'm talking about right there. Huh. Everything I've read said the service from Union Point to Winterville was shut down in 1984. So they must have ripped up the tracks in 1988, and then 1999, 2000, they ripped up the tracks and tore down the bridge here and ahead of the Trail Creek Trestle. And then here's the Seaboard Depot. That still stands in Athens today. I've seen it. It's now used by CSX. Central of Georgia, sadly, the depot here burned. Unfortunately, which is a shame, because had it been able to be saved, it would have been a nice addition to the heritage that is still left. But yeah, the Central of Georgia line is the one that's currently abandoned and sitting idle in Athens. It's still intact, somewhat, but the yard and whatnot is all gone. But that bugs me that the depot was burned by idiots. Ah yes, Gainesville, Midland. More locomotives than buildings survive at this railroad. Pretty much their entire remaining roster was saved by the Seaboard. But they dieselized this year when Seaboard Airline pretty much just bought the railroad outright. Station here, it was demolished in the 80s. Or was it? Keyword, was it? A building similar to this portion still exists behind the Classic Center and the Banner Herald News Building, if I'm not mistaken. And I say similar, it's probably not the same structure, but who knows? Of course, if they wanted to bring passenger service back, the Classic Center looks pretty much like a depot on the front end. Just something to think about, I guess. And then here's the Southern Railway. Its depot still exists, but like I said, the yard down there was shut down and is now mostly gone, apart from some end stubs. And this is the rail line that still exists in Athens. So I got all my stuff regarding the railroads mixed up. That's wrong. By 2004, the trackage was sold to the Hartwell Railroad, and it's now out of service and whatnot. Oh yeah. Tallulah Falls Railroad, that's now gone. That's been gone since the, what do you call it? That's been gone since 1961. So yeah, there's the depot as it appeared back then. All this stuff here, that's all gone. I've got video of that, what it looks like now. But, yeah, here's more of the Oconee River and stuff. And then the new Oconee River Bridge, crossing Oconee River. Interestingly enough, the bridge had wood approaches. In fact, what's left of them is still laying in the woods here beside the roadbed. I went and saved some stuff from them, some metal bits. They were just dragged out and then just dumped, and that was the end of that. So, I'm going to conclude all this and what I might do is I'll just wait and check on the creek. I really don't know, to tell you the truth. I might just go on and head back, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah, you can see some trees have fallen there and there. And it wouldn't surprise me if the river and creek continue rising throughout the rest of the day. Battery's now at 70%, so yeah, I'm going to have to cut it here, and I will see y'all later. In Athens, Georgia, this is Railroad Preserver 2000 out. Good example of how high the water's gotten today. I don't know if it's going to get any higher than this, but who knows. But you can see it's now well, actually it was higher probably sometime during the night, because you can see the watermark on the pillar there. So this is a good comparison for what I got yesterday. Oh well. I'll see y'all later. Alright, I'm back with a fresh battery for the PowerShot SX60. And I just cleared this drainage ditch here, so this water here in the parking lot can try to drain out. As you can see, that was a good call, because it's draining rather quickly now. So this will probably drain a bit more for the next 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, the rain and wind have mostly moved out, so now it's just them trying to go back and get stuff restored, like for power and stuff. I've got my phone on me, I got my batteries, and yeah. All in all, it's starting to clear up here, which is good. So I will see you in a bit. Alright, I'm back with another camera battery that works, and here's an update on where the flooding was in the parking lot. It's now drained down by about half or so, I think, and it's still actively draining. Yeah, I had to get another camera battery because the one I had in the camera originally decided to die on me. Great. That's no longer an issue. See, as I stated earlier, the rain has mostly moved on. So now all that's left is just the wind, and it should move out of here by the afternoon. So, well, yeah, given that we've lost power, though, I'm going to be hanging around the park here to show all of it. And I'll probably be alternating between my phone and my camera because, let me see, oh yes, all my camera batteries appear to be dead, judging by the fact that the one in the PowerShot is currently blinking dead. So I will be shutting this off and putting it in my truck. So the rest of this will probably be on my phone. Excuse me. Alright, so I lied a bit. Apparently I had a good battery in one of my other cameras, so I've got it. I've taken it and it's now on, or in rather, this camera. Home drain, I can't tell. No, it's not. It's just a meter entrance, okay. There comes one of Athens area transit's buses. Hi, yes. And here's what remains of the covered bridge that used to be here in Athens. Luckily, the bridge still exists today. It's, if I'm not mistaken, I think the original bridge was moved to Stone Mountain Park where it sits today. Though don't quote me on it. And then here's the Oconee as it appears right now. Still slowly rising. Oh shoot. Wait a minute, they had a tree come down over there. Yeah, on 1st Street, I think. I don't know. Yep, the one's down because that bus is turning. Oh yeah, we got a tree down on 1st Street. So it's a good thing I decided to stay around the mill then, because nobody's going this way for a while. No, sir. All right. I thought the rain was moving out. I guess not, because it's starting up again. Oh well. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. That must have fallen in the last few hours. But they're actively clearing it up, as you can hear, so that's good. You can see how the wind and rain have knocked all those leaves down. I'm gonna have to wipe my... Yeah, and going forward, you're gonna have to expect a lot of shirt wiping. What I mean by that is that you're gonna have to get used to seeing a lot of my shirt wiping the lens off. Yeah, and this is now going into downtown Athens. Now let me see, I think this gives more history on the bridge, but I could be wrong entirely on this. Yep, I am. Okay. So this rotunda part still exists, it's just hidden by the trees. So here's a good view of the Oconee in this mess. So yeah, I'm going to end the recording, get some photos, and resume. This little bit's for the city of Athens, or the ones that take care of these plaques. I want you to see something here. This is what they normally look like. Here's what they look like after someone decides to scrub them. It's all algae and tree sap and stuff that could be cleaned off if someone bothered to put the time and effort in. Just saying. That frustrates me when you can't read these plaques due to grime being allowed to build up on them. Just pointing out the obvious, people. So yeah, excuse me. I wanted to show y'all something because I just remembered it being here. This current bridge right here was built in the 1970s, so it'll be 50 years old next year. There's Weaver D's, made famous by REM, though I've since heard the food is okay to mediocre. That's just what other people have said. That's not what I've seen. Yeah, this is the other end of where the covered bridge used to be now. Until the new bridge was built in the 70s, there was a nice steel bridge here, but that's been, of course, removed, and this pylon is all that's left. And it's not the only remnant either. There's what's left of the old covered bridge's pylon right there. And I'm sure the covered bridge at one time probably had a central pylon in the river somewhere, but it's probably been washed away over the years. And then here's what's left of the steel bridge's pylon here. And here's a picture of both. The 1900 era bridge, and then the steel bridge that likely replaced the covered bridge in the 20s or so. Yeah, North Avenue, that now has a modern concrete bridge over it. And the railroad trestle, the steel trestle, has now been replaced with a deck girder trestle on concrete pillars. That's the one that you see when you come into Athens on North Avenue. Yeah, but since trees are down and whatnot, I'm mainly going to be walking around and doing photography and filming. So this is now sort of the aftermath portion of Hurricane Helene, or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's being called right now, is Helene. And also, all this new stuff you see here, and further up, none of that existed in 2002 and 2003. It was only built when I was growing up, so 2004 onwards. As you can see, we don't have any more rain, but we do have wind, as evident by all the trees going nuts. And from what they said, that's going to just continue for the rest of the day, so there's not much I can do there. Not much anyone can really do. Oh dang, wait a minute, they got that road open. Yeah, they got that road open in just a few minutes. I've been walking around and filming. Good on Athens. Very good on Athens. Yeah. Yeah, they got a path cut through right there. A very crude path cut through, but it's paved nonetheless, so that ain't bad. And here's the mill again, so I'm going to end the video to get some photos. That's something I hate with this thing. I have to stop the video recording in order to take pictures. That just happened right there. All that must have happened during the last gusts we had. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, all this probably just gave way probably a few minutes to an hour ago. And I stood down here when we had one other major storm where the water got real high. Oh, there's a squirrel. Up, can't get in here now. Yeah, these trees here must have just come down. You can see they're eat up with some sort of lichen here. If I'm not mistaken, I think this lichen is sort of an invasive type species. As you can see, it gets on the bark and slowly chokes the tree out, kills it. And this sucker was infested with it. You can tell just from looking at it. Same with the other one. See? Surprised people at UGA haven't done anything to stop that, but oh well. So yeah, I'm going to conclude this video because I got back to where I began. So I will see y'all later. It'll mostly be photos to conserve battery life. See, the trash collector is doing its job, at least with catching plastic that's floating. Look at all that. Frankly, what they should do is put a larger trash boom in where the basket for that is much wider and goes pretty much across the whole length of the creek, creating a barrier. That's just me though. That's what I would do. So I'm out in the woods near the Trail Creek Trestle. The new, quote-unquote, Trail Creek Trestle, I should say. And I found something interesting. Right there, right here, and all right in here look to be old railroad ties or old bridge timbers. As to which bridge they're from, I genuinely don't know, but I think they could either be from the Trail Creek Trestle, back when that was still in service, or from the old Oconee River Bridge that has been torn down in the that was torn down in the 2000s. Since there's still a lot of overgrowth, I can't really get a better look at this stuff or see if there's any more of it, so I'll have to wait until winter when all this stuff dies down. But you can see there's multiple timbers of huge length. In fact, here's another one right here, I think, unless, no, that's a tree, never mind. Well, no, that could be a tree. I really don't know. I can't tell. It's likely a tree or something. But yeah, look right there. Oh yeah, there's a railroad tie. One that was dumped off the side of the rail bed when it was still active. That's probably from the 90s or so, because CSX still used this up until 1998 or so. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if you came out in this little spot with a metal detector. You'd find all sorts of spikes and stuff. I have no doubt in my mind. This is the second set of bridge remains I've found beside the old Georgia Railroad right-of-way. The first batch are from the North Oconee Bridge, further up in that direction. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's more through here. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if there was more. Because that's something I've always wanted to do, is I've wanted to walk this stretch of the road bed to see if there was old bridge remains, and I found them in two spots. So I guess what CSX must have done is when they tore down the North Oconee Bridge and part of the Trail Creek Trestle, they just dragged all the wood timbering and stuff over in here and just dumped it, and then that was it. Dumped it alongside the right-of-way so it could rot. And I guess that's what happened here. But they could pull some of these beams out and save them, I guess. But if not, I'm going to be doing very thorough photo documentation. And, of course, filming for preservation purposes. So, yeah, I will see y'all later.